Good morning, everyone. It is Friday. Remember the day. It's very interesting. I've seen a lot of things about marriage. Yes? I like it. Well, what is marriage? How does marriage work? How does it not work? How are people so excited, right, to propose and then get married, a big old fest and I don't know what, and then it takes a few years, children, and then what? Wow. So people come up with all kinds of things, right, on what makes marriage work, or how it doesn't work, or whatever, and it's a journey, people. It just is. And this journey of marriage between a couple, right? There's a lot of other people involved. Yes? Yeah. I find that, or I thought about it, and, reading all this stuff, this and that, all the things that come up, all the good advice, for and against it, and then this and that. Okay. How should you do it? Under who's this or that? And how? Okay. And there's one thing that came to my mind, right? That it's almost this. One could almost say, if you would like to have a good marriage, and what's a good marriage? Oh, there will be no pain involved, no arguments, no kind of problems. Okay, that's already, just throw that all out, because that's not going to happen. Because the journey of a marriage, it's a journey. That's what it is. It's taking a trip from a place that you grew up from, that you never been, because that's everyone, right? That's child, growing up, teenager, growing older, then you start thinking family, marriage first. Yeah. You've never been there before. Nobody has been there before that, their self. Now, of course, you can listen to other people, but you yourself, you've never been there before. Once you get to that point where marriage becomes a part of your life, or anyone's life, right? So it's like you're planning a trip, right, to a country you've never been to, and you got it. We're going to fly there. Are we going to drive there? Are we going to go by boat? I don't see it. And you go there and you rediscover another country. Right? Is there everything going to be exactly in the way that your own individual life, on how that has been as a man or a woman, growing up, this, that? Or is it suddenly, whoa, there's some things different here than what I grew up with. And okay, that's kind of the same thing in marriage. So the number one thing that I think that would be really beneficial for anyone out there that is serious about this kind of stuff, right, is serious about having children, where you provide a good environment for them. I'm going right back to what? Children. The result of marriage, most of the time, right? Yes? One thing, and I know that marriage counseling, all that is out there often for afterwards. How about before that? Yes, there is too, but in what way? Where I have to say, okay, in my opinion, with my experience that I have during my marriage, okay, and whatever else went with it, I believe that marriage isn't just, hunky-dory. It also involves a restoration process of what? History. Ancestors. I believe in that because I believe in spiritual life. Okay. And we do carry some responsibility for many things that happened in the past. Okay. As a whole this or that, or just in our ancestry, where we, as the descendants, if certain things weren't taken care of, we do carry on our shoulders. Yes? Just as we inherit traits from our parents in the physical, we do also inherit them in the spiritual. Okay, that's one of them. So, communication. Yes? Okay, I know there are some men out there, they communicate with grunts. They do. They really do. And then there are women out there that communicate with just every time the volume goes up, there's this like explosion happening. All right. Yes. All right. So here's the thing. Now, oftentimes what I found, not just in my own marriage, okay, but with most people I talked about marriage, or they're talking about what's going on with their husbands or their wives, it's always, why don't they change? That's how I'm going, well, you didn't know any of that before you got married? I kind of knew my husband pretty well. Okay, not well enough, I guess. Right? Or did he know me well enough? Right? Okay. Did you not know your husband well enough? Did you not try to figure out first what kind of person that other person is that you decide that you want to go, as I say, propose, have the big old, so in love and all that, right? The rest of your life with? Why not? Why not? Then why is anybody complaining out there? Anybody? Why did you not take the time? So, okay. Some parts of the world, women don't have a choice. They're still being, yes, all right. Arranged marriages, believe it or not, they can actually work a heck of a lot better than you think. If, again, the couple is being given time to get to know each other. If one's just being forced into marriage because of culture, this or that, or religion, okay, I'm sorry, that's wrong. I don't care what anybody says. Don't throw culture and religion at me when it comes to certain things, because that's all man-made, in my opinion. So, communication. If the grunting before marriage did not bother you in your husband or wife, and the kind of explosive conversation you may have had that looked really cute kind of at the time, but then becomes kind of a nuisance over time, then whose problem is that? And why do people not get to know each other better? And then have to say, oh, yeah, I'm not going to change. Most likely that will not change. Unless the other person decides on their own, I think just with grunts, maybe I should have at least some words available to communicate. Right? Yes? And vice versa. Well, maybe if I just, okay, honey, hang on a second. I've got to breathe in and out first. Yes. Enhance what? On both sides in a way that what? Enhancing the vocabulary to communicate. And why not have a place, or people could go to say, okay, let's see if our communication system to be doing this for the rest of our lives, having children, a family, working together through what? Thick and thin, health and sickness, et al., and I don't know what. Do we have that? Will that work for the two of us? And then decide. Yes? Just saying. Then get a little certificate. Yeah? Hang that big on the wall. You know, like a wedding picture. A huge big on the wall. We passed this test. If we pass this test, to be able to communicate with each other, acknowledging that, no, I'm not here to change my partner, my husband, or my wife. Of course, the expectations go both ways. But recognizing, oh, that's how the person grew up. in their culture, in their religion, in their eating habits, in their ways of cleaning, in their ways of, okay, just saying, right? Yes? And of course, I'm not talking about abuse, but here's the thing. If you get to know each other a bit longer than just, okay, and through what? Yes, okay. Then you will figure out, does a person have abusive tendencies? And then surely you will run the other way. Will you not? Surely you would never want to, with an abusive person, establish a family, right? So right there, it'd be worth it, wouldn't it? To get to know a person before. Well enough. Yes, okay. Anyway, so there's all this stuff floating around out there, and I go, it's all about communication. It really is. And recognizing the different worlds, the different continents, the different countries, family that people grow up in, and then see, can we actually make this work? Will this work? Yeah, of course. Doing it under the guidance of God, I think that's always a plus, isn't it? Yes? Again, if you're not using religion. All right. Had some great news today. One of my daughters, with my granddaughters, coming to visit tomorrow. Ooh, what am I going to cook? Ooh, I'm going to put a delicious something rather, and I already thought I'm going to show my granddaughter. Okay. Oh, my daughter too. All right. My granddaughter. My daughter is out to here pregnant, so she's gonna rest, take a nap after the drive, and just enjoy peace and quiet. We're gonna serve on her hands and feet. Yes. Anyway, so I thought I'm gonna show my granddaughter on how to fix some of those dry land fish, morels. They call them dry land fish here. Mushrooms, on how to fix those. I'm gonna batter them. Going to leave them whole, batter them. There's some really big ones, and then fry them. She's going to help me with that. She's old enough to be able to do that. Then we're going to go out. We're going to go and do some gathering. Yes, yeah. Children, every child that I've ever taken out there mushroom hunting, or okay, I'm looking for this particular herb, so then, and they would find it, and they would it was just, whoo, crazy, I found some. I'm going, you got better eyes than I do. Whoa, sure glad I took you with me. Anyway, all right. Me and my happy life, I know. You know, everything I read in here, in a way, on how God says, if you just, your life will be so bountiful. I could be there. I can protect you. I can supply you with more than you need to. It is so true. And again, everyone has to have this experience of giving yourself completely over to that parental God. And then you will start to experience things that you thought, this is not possible. It's not possible, but it is. Just saying. All right. We are in the second book of Chronicles 16. In the 36th year of King Asa's reign, King Baasha of Israel declared war on him and built the fortress of Ramah in order to control the road to Judah. That's blackmail. Okay. Asa's response was to take the silver and gold from the temple and from the palace and to send it to King Ben-Hadad of Syria at Damascus with this message: let us renew the mutual security pact that there was between your father and my father. See, here is silver and gold to induce you to break your alliance with King Baasha of Israel, so that he will leave me alone. He took the silver and the gold. Do you see how that just worked? Okay. Ben-Hadad agreed to King Asa's request and mobilized his armies to attack Israel. But he had an alliance with King Baasha of Israel, which there was we must have read about this before too. The kings left and right and this and that. But so they bought each other. Man, what a mess again. They destroyed the cities of Ijon, Dan, Abel Maim, and all of the supply centers in Naphtali. Now, wait a minute. Didn't it just say here, break the alliance with King Baasha of Israel so that he will leave me alone? Well, then wouldn't that mean that now if King Baasha says, ooh, I don't have that Syrian dude anymore on my side. He's on the side of Asa now. Okay, well, we'll step back. Then why are they going out and starting to kill people? The idea is not bad, but it didn't. As soon as King Baasha of Israel heard what was happening, he discontinued building Ramah and gave up his plan to attack Judah. Well, right there, but would he not have done that if he would have just gotten word, hey, by the way? Then King Asa and the people of Judah went out to Ramah and carried away the building stones and timbers and used them to build Geba and Mitzpah instead. About that time, the prophet Hanani came to King Asa and told him, because you have put your trust in the king of Syria instead of the Lord your God, the army of the king of Syria has escaped from you. Wait, what now? But wasn't... I don't see no communication going on here. Why did I have to start with... I mean... Did King Asa, who sent all this stuff from the temple to the king of Syria to say, hey, be on my side now. See, I'm giving you all this stuff. Well, how did he think he was going to be under the... he also thought that he's going to be controlling Syria? Here comes Hanani and says, yeah, you put your trust in that king, and he ran off with what? Of course, all the stuff that Asa gave him beforehand, I'm just saying. So what does this have to do with God again? Because the idea, in a way, okay, let's see what we can do. Right? We'll take all this, okay, it came from the temple, but we're trying to keep peace. And what did I say? Does God really care about all that? No. But surely he'd be saying, yeah, give this all, switch that over, and see if you guys can keep the peace, kind of with the power trips that everybody's having, if that switches, but then you need to also stay peaceful in a way, right? And Baasha immediately, when he's, oh, okay then. Right? Yes? Hey. And then, what is Hanani doing here now? What's he not happy with? Don't you remember what happened to the Ethiopians, Libyans, and their vast army with all of their chariots and cavalrymen? But you relied then on the Lord, and he delivered them all into your hand. Well, maybe God's not out for blood, rather peace. So Asa, okay. For the eyes of the Lord search back and forth across the whole earth, looking for people whose hearts are perfect toward him, so that he can show his great power in helping them. In what way exactly? Bloodbaths? What a fool you have been! From now on you shall have wars. Asa was so angry with the prophet for saying this that he threw him into jail. And Asa oppressed all the people at that time. See, now it's backfiring. Why did Hanani not come and say, you know what? There's one thing we should, that King Bush, the Syrian king, right? Ben Hadad, whatever. We should have been clear that we don't want him to attack anyone, right? Now that Bashar has backed up, right, then let's now stay clear on what needs to be done next to keep the peace. But it seems like everybody's just getting mad at communication. What did I start out with? Right? This is supposed to be a marriage in a way between the people and God. And what's going on? Right? Yes, God's very constant, always. Right? But the people are flip-flopping around. And the constancy is not that hard to have for the people. Again, if you look at the Ten Commandments, you know what the right thing is to do and how to stay constant to go have that proper communication with God and then with the rest of the people, even if there is conflict. Yes? Just saying. Okay? Very interesting. We're reading this now after, okay. And Asa, there we go. Don't tell, I'm telling you what, it's one of those things when people are on top, leaders, this and that, kings, I don't know, self-proclaimed kings, I don't know what, their ego, when things go good, their ego grows beyond their control. And Asa pressed all the people at that time. All the people, his own people. Well, there you go. The rest of the biography of Asa is written in the annals of the kings of Israel and Judah. In the 39th year of his reign, Asa became seriously diseased in his feet. But he didn't go to the Lord with the problem, but to the doctors. Okay. He had a problem with his feet. So he died in the 41st year of his reign and was buried in his own vault that he had hewn out for himself in Jerusalem. I'll be right there, Bo. Hang on. He needs to go out. He was laid on a bed perfumed with sweet spices and ointments, and his people made a very great burning of incense for him at his funeral. I wonder what went wrong with his feet. Ooh. I bet you he stank really bad. Okay, just saying. But how is it said here? All right, well, we know. He's got. Okay, just saying. I'm sorry, Asa. I bet you suffered a lot at the end. I'm coming. Well, anyway, so there it is. Communication. Seems like you guys are always right on target, aren't you? You know what I just got back from Spirit Realm? Well, that wouldn't work if you weren't listening, if you wouldn't be paying attention. So we're communicating quite well. I got back, you can be a bit stubborn in some things. Is that a bad thing? Not in my case, they say. All right. Hey, we're still working on all that too, right? Yes, I don't have it all 100% figured out. Why would that be something, wouldn't it? Going back to, I do have a wonderful thing happening in my life when it comes to marriage. Between my husband and I was only married once. Only ever had one husband, and all my children are from the same man. Okay, just saying. Okay, so if not, let me finish. We had a really, really rough times, and we did get divorced. The interesting thing, though, is that in a way we are restoring our marriage in a very interesting way that is a bit of a wonder to me. Yes? In many ways, I'm not going to go and tell you the whole story, this and that, because it's our story, right? It is our path together. The interesting thing about it is that communication had a lot to do with it. Not just that, but the dedication to our children as well, as parents. Yes? I feel like that we both taught each other certain things coming from each of our lives before marriage that eventually we grew together. And now, in a way, in many ways, we appreciate the strength that each of us has more so, and give very little regard to our failings. I said, to me, it's a bit of a miracle. To me, it is possible. Right? Yes, I believe that my husband and I were meant for each other. We were a good combination. Yet, there were just some things we did not figure out in the beginning, per se. Didn't know about each other in the beginning, per se. Right? But many of the foundations were there. Yes, yeah. So, I love it. I think it's great. Yes. So we'll see what the future holds. Yes. Yeah. Okay. And we very much are working together on me being able to go and help out my children with all the grandchildren. Yes. Yeah. All right. And of course, then that means that he's gonna have to be here. Somewhat. I love it. Working together. It's a little bit in a different way, communicating properly, so things are set. Yes, took a long time, but it's possible. Yes, yes. Giving a heads up to everyone out there. Never give in, never give up, but do it with the guidance of God and Spirit world. Yes? All right. God's love and blessings always. May He protect you. And I will talk to you another time.